It is lunchtime and I am starving. So I'm going to be doing a recipe that again has only 3 staple ingredients. You can add some other things which I am going to be doing in this tutorial, but it's mainly 3 ingredients. And I like to call this dish pasta parmigiano because it's basically cheesy pasta. It's really delicious, it's really quick and easy, it's so simple, so let's get cooking! So for this recipe, all you will need is some pasta. I like to use brown, but you can use white, it's entirely up to you. You need some soft cheese. I usually like to use Philadelphia, but we've been trying to save some money on our food shop, so I'm trying this stuff. I don't know if it's any good, but it's the reduced fat one. It might not be as good as Philadelphia, but I'm gonna try it, see what happens. And then you just need some hard cheese flakes or shavings. So I've got flakes here, and usually as I said, I use Parmesan, but I don't think this is actually Parmesan. It doesn't smell like Parmesan, it's not as strong as Parmesan, but I think it'll do the trick. Best thing to use is Parmesan though, because it tastes amazing. So those are the 3 ingredients, that's all you'll really need, but you can have some extras, which I've got over here. You can add some oil. Now, usually oil is used to ensure that things don't kind of burn in the pan, but I like to just use it for flavour. You don't have to use it for that. And I love the garlic infused oil. It's got like shavings of garlic in it, and it's really, really yummy. Then obviously you got your salt and your pepper. You don't really need that, but I like to use it. And then I love the taste of sage and chives with cheese. I don't entirely know, I mean obviously chives is a given, you always have cheese and chives together, but I also like to use sage. It's a really nice subtle taste, but it comes through really nicely with cheese because it's stronger than many of the other herbs, so that's really nice. But to be honest, you could use any sort of things that you like. Sometimes I like to use Marmite with this recipe. Trust me, it tastes amazing. Try cheese and Marmite together. I have got 2 quick tips for you when it comes to cooking pasta. First one is that if you boil a kettle and use boiling water instead of just normal hot or cold water, then your pasta will cook a lot faster. The other thing is as well is that you can walk away from your cooking pasta and get on with whatever you need to get on with without worrying about the pasta boiling over, by just placing a spoon on top just like that, and the bubbles will not boil past the spoon. So that's my 2 quick tips. So the amount of pasta I've got is only enough for me really, because I'm the only one home for lunch. So I don't know, that's around about maybe 3 cupfuls of pasta, I don't know. So I've just boiled it up and I've removed almost all of the water, as much as you can anyway. So I've done that. Next thing I'm going to do, which might seem odd to some people, is I am going to add a little bit of oil. Now with this oil, which is the garlic infused oil, I got this from Asda, because of all the little garlic granules at the bottom, I like to give it a little bit of a shake to get all the garlic moving, so then you can have a little bit of garlic in your recipe. So I'm just going to put a splash of oil in there, not too much, not too little, and give it a little bit of a stir. Next is the cream cheese. So I'm going to add, to begin with, I'm going to add, this is a bit crumblier than Philadelphia, 2 tablespoons. I'm going to try that first. and see what that's like. I'm going to put it over the heat again to let the cream cheese melt. So I've put the cream cheese in there, and so that's the pasta with cream cheese and oil, but I don't feel like there's enough cream cheese in there. I mean, it's just enough to coat it, but we want it to be a bit more creamier than that, so I'm going to add another tablespoon of cream cheese. There we go, so that's now like a thick sauce. The cream cheese is melted right into the pasta, and the oil has mixed in with the cream cheese as well. So I'm going to take that off the heat just for a second, just to make sure it doesn't burn. And now I'm going to put in my herbs. So I've got my chives. I'm going to put in about a teaspoon. Don't want it to be too much. And then with the sage, I'm only going to put in half a teaspoon, because sage is quite powerful. Then I'm going to put in about half a teaspoon of pepper. I just eyeball it, to be honest. And then about half a teaspoon of salt. Again, I'm just eyeballing it. And then I'm just going to mix them all in over the heat. So last thing we're going to do is put in the Parmesan, or the hard cheese. Now I put in about a handful, which is about half a cup usually. And then you can decide to put in more or less depending on your tastes. I'm just going to wait for those flakes to slowly but surely melt. Keep stirring so that the cream cheese doesn't melt. I think this is one of those dishes that when you make it, you're thinking this looks gross, and then when it's actually finished, it's amazing. And cheese is melting. Oh, I like mine really cheesy, so I'm going to put in a pinch more. Once again, taken off the heat. As soon as you start hearing it sizzling, take it off the heat, because you don't want that cheese to burn. As soon as it stops making the sound, put it back on the heat to let that cheese melt. Might just look like a big ball of cheese and pasta, but it tastes amazing. Yeah, all that cheese is almost melted. Might put a little bit of more oil in it just to make it a little bit more garlicky, because I love my garlic. So that was just a splash, which is about a teaspoon, I'd say, just to stop it from sizzling as well. If you ever find that things are cooking too quickly, then take it off the heat, add a bit more oil, and then put it back on the heat, because then it just takes the edge off a bit. There we go, that is ready. And there we go, we've got some bits of cheese that is not melted yet, but I don't mind that. It's most of it's melted, and it goes really stringy. I don't know if you can see all the strings coming off of it, but it is really delicious. Right, turning the heat off, and I'm going to put this in a bowl. I apologise if you can hear the guy cutting the grass behind the camera, but someone's cutting grass behind my house. So this is the finished product. It looks really yummy. I can't wait to eat it. What I did is in my garden I've got some herbs growing, so I just cut up some fresh chives and fresh sage, and I just put that in there to make it look pretty. Yeah, I never really use fresh herbs to actually put in a recipe. I only use to garnish, so just an FYI. Just because I find that fresh herbs, when you cook them, they're okay, but they're just not as potent as when they are fresh as in not cooked into anything. So yeah, I mainly use them to garnish. So that is lunch, my very cheesy pasta on my Parmigiano pasta. I shall see you guys at dinner.